What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the PHA Pick'em. It is week 14 in college football. We got this show and then our bowl special that we're going to do. We'll probably take a break, I believe, maybe this Sunday, maybe next Sunday. I can't remember off the top of my head on the schedule. They'll come out with the bowls, but next week will only be Army-Navy, one of the greatest games ever. We won't be doing a show for that, though, but if you want the pick, head over to Twitter, at King of Takes. I'll give you a pick on that one, but we got 2 shows left, counting this one, so it's coming to an end, and we're going to need to start hitting winners because last week was a yikes, buddy. Our record now is 35-35-1. We went 1-4, I believe, last week. It was not good. Basically, all the work we had made is donezo. But we got 5 massive games on the slate. It is championship week. Huge implications on the line. Not only are we talking conference championship, obviously, we're talking college football playoffs. And for some schools that are not going to be able to actually make it into the playoff, we're talking big-time New Year's Eve 6 bowl games, which bring a ton of money with them. So huge week in college football. The Saturday slate is silly. If you're not watching college football on Saturday, you need to reevaluate your life. But let's get into the show, guys. Five big games for you. So the first one's actually on Friday night. The Pac-12, they always got to be different. I don't know why they're doing it on Friday, but to each their own. We got number 10 Oregon versus number 17 Utah. The line is -2.5, over under 58. The game is in Las Vegas. Just 2 weeks ago, Utah bodied Oregon 38-7 at night in Utah. But I said it on the show, that is a completely different environment, all right? Utah is almost unbeatable at home, especially at night. I do think this is going to be a different game for you. However, a lot of gamblers, needless to say, a lot of them are not very smart, which is why you guys are listening to me. Not saying I'm smart, but I'm better than most, are on Utah. 86% of the bets are going on Utah money line and the spread. However, let's not forget, guys, Oregon beat Ohio State early in the year with an unhealthy team. They had a little bit of injury problems, specifically at the quarterback position when they went to Utah. That's not going to be the case now. I do think Oregon is a better team. The ranking says so, and I think this is just itching for the sharps to jump on. I love Oregon +2.5 in this game, and I like it a little bit more, but we're going to get to that in just a second. Second game on the docket for us. We got number 21 Houston at number 4 Cincinnati. -10.5 Cincinnati. Over-under is 53. It is in Cincinnati. That is to note, okay? This is a home game for Cincinnati. This will be the toughest game on Cincinnati's schedule, not with a person or school named Notre Dame. Houston is for real, guys, and they've proved it. The last 5 weeks, they have played big-time teams, and they have been smoking them. All right, goes all the way back to SMU, and SMU looked like maybe they were going to be the darlings of Conference USA and take on Cincinnati. Houston bodied them. They won, I think, by 20 points in that game 5 weeks ago, and Houston's just been continuing and continuing and continuing. And I actually think Houston has a better defense. The stats will back it up as well. I think you're a sucker if you don't take Houston +10.5 in this game. I know Cincinnati's been doing the swaggy thing the last 2 weeks, but Cincinnati is Cincinnati. I think they're a team that's very good, but they tend to play down to their competition, which means they're not going to blow out a lot of teams. Houston is a good team. They will be playing up to Houston talent. Obviously, it's Cincinnati, the number 4 team in the country. But Cincinnati will keep this within the number. Take Houston. I said Cincinnati. Houston will keep this within the number. Take Houston +10.5. Thank you. Third game we have for you. What most people would think is the biggest game of the weekend. I do not think this is actually the biggest game of the weekend, but it's number 1 Georgia versus number 3 Alabama in Atlanta. Alabama, if you have been paying attention to them, the last 3 weeks for them has been sus, to say the least. Suspect, okay? Bryce Young, their young quarterback, looked great starting the year. Maybe a Heisman hopeful. Maybe he's got it in the bag halfway through the season. You know, if Alabama keeps doing what they're doing, he has not looked good, all right? Against a diminished, injured Auburn team, Alabama was on the ropes. Should have lost that game. Auburn didn't even have Bo Nix, who I understand I talk a lot of shit about, but it's Bo Nix. He's been the starter there. He understands the big game. They didn't even have him, and they're beating Alabama late into that game. Should have won. Bryce Young goes 25 for 51 in that game with an interception. Unacceptable. And if you think that you're going to be successful against a top defense in Georgia and clearly the number one team in the country, you are wrong. This may be the easiest lock of the week. The only reason it's not is because Saban is Saban. He'll have his team ready to go, but Georgia is looking for revenge. Kirby Smart is going to have his team ready to embarrass Alabama because this will be one of few opportunities he gets to actually embarrass his former boss, Nick Saban. Take Georgia minus 6.5. Over-under was 49.5 as well. Just throw that out there. Don't play with that. Minus 6.5 Georgia. Fourth game, biggest game of the week. Don't care what you say. Biggest game of the week. Number 2 Michigan versus number 13 Iowa. Iowa is plus 11. Yikes. Over-under is 43.5. It's in Indianapolis, guys. Huge game. Going to be in the Dome. Iowa, just 2 months ago, guys, was the number 2 team in the country, and everyone thought they were a wagon. They were going to break through finally, being that 10-win team that does just enough to be relevant, but not enough to be really, really good or nationally relevant. Michigan, they looked next level last week against Ohio State. They absolutely crushed Ohio State. The offensive line was pushing them around the field all day. Aiden Hutchinson and that defense looked unstoppable. Speaking of Aiden Hutchinson, Heisman hopeful, please. But I don't like the 11. Iowa could easily get blown out in this game, okay? But Michigan has been known to not play well against other very big teams. And by big, I mean physically big, right? They struggled against Nebraska. They struggled against Wisconsin. I don't really know if I like the 11, but what I do like is the over-under at 43.5. One way or another, this will be a close game and will go over the number, somewhere around probably a 28-25 game, or Michigan will blow out Iowa in what will be like a 37-10 game, okay? Over 43.5 is the pick in our fourth pick of the week, and the biggest game of the week, number 2 Michigan versus number 13 Iowa. And then for our last game, all right, the fifth game of the week, the late game, the ACC Championship, number 15 Pittsburgh versus number 16 Wake. Wake is +3, over under 71. Pitt has maybe the actual best quarterback in the country in Kenny Pickett. He's going to go first round next year. I really, really love Pittsburgh. I really do. Wake Forest, though, somehow always finds a way to stay in these games. But their defense is atrocious, all right? Wake Forest ranks over 100 in the country when it comes to yards allowed. And we've seen what's happened in the past. They gave up a ton of points against North Carolina, who also had a good quarterback in Sam Howell. This is going to be a light show at night. You're going to be exhausted from an amazing slate and then get hit with the ACC Championship and think it's going to be a snoozer. You're wrong. You're going to stay awake for this one, all right? Over 71 is the play here. This is going to be an amazing game. An amazing game to watch. I can't wait to watch it. And then for the parlay, the last parlay of the season, we got to hit it. We have no choice but to hit it. Our over is going to be Kent State, Northern Illinois, over 74.5 in the MAC championship. Kent State, they play fast, they play loose, they score a ton of points, and they apparently don't have a kicker. Watch one of their games, just go watch some highlights. They literally will score a touchdown, kick it, and before you know it, the ball goes to the 40 maybe, and they're at half, and the other team's at the 50-yard line. The over is always open, all right? Take the over 74.5. The under, Baylor, Oklahoma State, under 46.5. Yeah, we didn't put that on the card because if you want to know the real pick for that one, you need to go listen to the Sports Profits. I gave my true pick for that, but I also do like the under at 46.5. Two defenses that do not give up a lot of points, do not give up a lot of yards. I like that one. Kind of seems a little high, honestly, but under 46.5. The favorite, I already said it. I love Pittsburgh. You're going to take the Pittsburgh money line. Right now, it's really going minus 148. That's why we're going to put it in there because it's not like a crazy number that's going to ruin the parlay. So minus 148 on the Pitt money line. And then I talked about it to top off the show. Oregon money line is the dog here. Winning outright. You can get them if you don't like the parlay at plus 116. But if you pair the four together that I just gave you, you get plus 1,217. That is huge odds. We need the W this year to get this in the right track. And I love this, love this, love this one. So hit that. And just to recap, the over is Kent State, Northern Illinois, over 74.5. The under is Baylor, Oklahoma State, under 46.5. Our favorite is Pitt money line, and our dog is Oregon money line. Quack, quack. And with that, guys, that will wrap up our regular season pick'em. The next show will be the bowl special, which we will have a ton of picks on. But until then, guys, I hope you enjoy another great weekend. Gamble your face off, but do it responsibly. And with that, I'll catch you guys next time, all right? Peace.